Okay, we're in. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the 145th session of the Pendragon Campaign. It is still the Twilight
Let's
period, and we're gonna try for 561 again.
do it.
So we're still in the winter. We did unfortunately discover Garrett's wife and child will die in childbirth, but we still have to do a little bit of survival stuff for our boy Erwin
Yeah.
the Dose.
Let's see. So he doesn't really. He's got some kids,
Yeah.
but I think only one now, if I recall.
Okay.
He had triplets, and two of them, the blessed one survives, and they're blessed, so they don't have to roll.
Oh, nice.
And he doesn't have
Yeah.
he doesn't have he doesn't have a wife, so I don't have to roll for her.
Okay. Then
I'm assuming he's got like a nursemaid or something somewhere.
that's fine.
You know,
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
he
that.
keeps a baby with him. Yeah.
Let's see. Yep. So then the other things for you is training and practice.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, because I haven't passed a glory threshold this year.
Yeah.
Skill up 5. You know what? I think I'm going to raise my. I'm going to go with a combat skill. Raise hammer.
Cool.
Okay. And did we have time for you? Did we have time for? You were at our manors most of the year, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of fair.
Okay.
Well, this was Turning of the Bright Shield.
Yeah.
Year.
So yeah, exactly. I was gonna say we were in
That's right.
Sarum though, so like that was the rest of it. Yeah. So yeah, maybe not necessarily our manor, but it wasn't like you were in Ireland or the Orkneys or
Sure.
something distant.
Campaigning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, you still had plenty to do this year.
All right. I think I'm good to go then.
All right. Okay. Then with your final glory, you already have your economics total, so we're good. Yeah. So then I think this winter, and it's like I think the first thing, or maybe even like I guess it would be early spring, is we're gonna have to have like this funeral. I think would probably be the first thing, because as private as you want it to be, given the prestige, it's going to be kind of a big deal. You can imagine a Cornish princess passing away would require a Cornish contingent to arrive.
Yeah, and Garrett's gonna have to, step up or lift his way through this one because.
Yeah. Exactly. So like I didn't really anticipate us doing like a feast for this or anything like that, but I definitely had a question of your dad.
Yeah.
And you and what that looks like.
No, I thought about that, and I actually think this is something that Gareth would that Archie would show up for. That Archie would come back for.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like your kids. But I guess I'm wondering is whether or not Archie has the bandwidth to kind of keep tabs on this type, like they wouldn't know about this rumor at all, right? They would just think it was your child, right?
Sorry, what?
Sorry, So I'm thinking of Archie, who retired over into Cornwall, yeah? Right, to be like the warden. He would have no inkling whatsoever that your wife having an affair or anything like that, and he would be 100% in, right?
Oh,
but given that Archie does have a prescient intrigue skill,
that's a good point.
I doubt it though.
I think it's.
I leave it to you.
I think it's worth a roll.
Okay. What is Archie? I mean, let's just say like maybe like a -5 or so, given their attention has been so not over here.
Yeah, so they don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so so instead they have to just comfort you regularly.
Yeah. That said, Garrett doesn't hide it, and doesn't. I think Garrett just tells Archie, that he wouldn't even sure this is his child. Lays the whole thing out. You've got an honest 16, so.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure Archie's going to be definitely conciliatory, but I can only imagine that, for the sake of the realm, you're going to have to kind of keep this, we shouldn't be blabbing about it. And that's he'll ask you like how many people know that kind of, and like let's really, keep this.
Yeah. Let's roll his mercy versus cruel.
Yeah.
Because Archie doesn't know how to respond to that. If I passed merciful and failed cruel, Archie I think would focus more on comforting the son. If the opposite were true, I think he'd see it as an opportunity to extract something from the Cornish, being like, "Hey, you gave us a shitty princess." Like,
yeah. Well, I think there's I'm going to build on this instead, and that I think maybe Archie has been focused on another plot and actually almost needs your help with this, and so like for the quote unquote good of the realm. It's really more like he's dealing with the Orkneys, especially Mordred. Archie has uncovered a plot focused around Mordred, looking at still ruining some of Cornwall's people, for what they've done, and basically still kind of like helping out the Deganey family and stuff of Wales, and especially friends of Tristram. So there's sort of a roundtable on roundtable night kind of anger going on here. Specifically, he's been looking out for a knight named Sir Dinadan, who is a friend. Yeah. Who, but he's making sure that, because Sir Dinadan was Tristan's friend, and obviously they didn't really get along between Gawain and Tristram, and even Lancelot. They were always kind of like rival buddies. And so, anyways, he's kind of been like, I think they're gonna try to pull some shit, and he's trying to be on the lookout for that. So he'll caution you there.
Okay. He doesn't need me to intercede. He just needs me to keep an eye out.
Exactly. Yeah. If you see anything in Camelot, that kind of stuff.
See something, say something. Yeah, I've been on the subway.
Exactly. So that's sort of where he's at with there. But the funeral is well received. I don't think the king and queen are coming, for you. But you're definitely going to get your share of roundtable nights to come around.
Yeah.
What about Erwin? So you guys weren't, we've established that you all aren't super close, right?
Yeah.
But there's still the situation where like your neighbor's wife just died,
Oh, for sure, yeah, and a family friend, right? Like even if Garrett and Erwin aren't particularly close, like they're truly aware of the the fact that their families are, right?
Oh yeah.
And also it would be a social faux pas to not attend and, pay my respects, that kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely.
Right. If you have a trait that you want to roll for this consolation, I would be keen to know what that is and what that looks like. But also as a GM, I'm very curious if you can't help but feel like you need to invite him to get out of the house and maybe go hunting or something like that. Given how much you're interested in hunting this year, especially in in the Camelot's woods. I'm just
Garrett needs to take his mind off. I think probably energetic. If you're thinking about it, like now's the time to like put your mind elsewhere. Come hunting with me. It sharpens the mind, focuses it.
Like after
that's the pitch. Yeah. I have a special place we can go hunting.
Garrett's looking at his horrendously depleted herd and being like, I might need to borrow a horse, man.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I've got just the one.
I have 3 horses left.
Nice. Well, that's good, because probably before your hunt in Camelot, you probably still need to go out and test ride and hunt your check your harnesses and all that kind of stuff for this big hunt anyways. Yeah. So inviting Garrett out early for a ride and stuff like that makes sense for me. Cool. Yeah. All right.
I have horses that specifically give a +5 to riding when hunting.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Yeah. My question, okay. So do you think then that you're just going to check for energetic? Is that what we're thinking for you telling him to seize the day, get out of here? I imagine like after the funeral, listen, like, let's go. That's not, you can't be moping around. That kind of thing.
Now's not the time to stew in your own juice kind of moment.
Yeah, listen, I just got these fresh new leather saddles. They need to get broken in. Come on, dude. Let's go. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So my question would be with this hunting moment here for Garrett. I think there's probably a chance you could gain some horsemanship, but I kind of feel like you need to roll to get out of your own head. You know what I
mean? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Am I being too like pushy about your character's psychology, or are we good?
No. The traits we've talked about. The traits are one of my favorite things about the system, in that it externalizes a lot of the stuff and brings you unexpected places.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't know what thought. I don't know what trait it would be to say that, like, you're still kind of like getting over this trauma, right? Like that just happened.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily you being selfish, but like that was kind of where my first. It's definitely, you know what I mean. But it's definitely like, can I? Or is it really like? Is it a role of can? Is it, and it's not like you being on the horse and you seeing the light, or is it really like a persuasive, like, is it Erwin who's acting on you to kind of snap out of it, almost you would like a malaise of a passion,
That actually sounds more in like snapping someone out of madness. That feels the most
aligned,
translatable here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then, all right. How do we want to do, Jim? How do we want to do this? Because it's not a passion roll, right? Like we're not dealing with a passion, but we're still dealing with like obviously your buddy's in a funk, right?
Yeah.
So in order to get them to see the joy again, is this just going to be like a hunting? Like, do we think this is just a hunting check, or do you think this is a trait?
I think the hunting
is,
or both.
I think the hunting is immaterial. It's the thing we're doing, but I don't think the success or not of the hunt matters, unless this were a movie and we need visual metaphors. But sort of in terms of what makes sense within the system, I think it's not what value Erwin is drawing on himself, but what value he is trying to draw Garrett to, right? So,
energetic. And we mentioned energetic.
Yeah.
But I don't... It feels like energetic is like... That was almost like a guarantee. That's what gets you out in the first place. Like, where you can't really say no to him, to be like, come on, you're going with us. And, you know, the kind of the dragging of the arm kind of thing. But then...
Yeah, I have energetic 19. So, like, that's never...
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, we all kind of know that you were coming, right? But it was just a question of, now that you're out there, is it... What trait is it that is imposed that snaps him out?
Okay, I gotcha.
I mean, it could be a skill too, if it's reasonable. Like a great song, you know what I mean? Like out hunting and singing a hunting song, something like that would make sense to me. I mean, you're Falcon.
I love falcons too. They're awesome. Look at that. Like I don't know. Like
trusting.
Erwin doesn't know about the infidelity, does he? Like that's still pretty.
No,
that hasn't really
absolutely not. No. You're just helping a dude who just lost his wife and like kid. So that dimension is
clear. It's about the purity of the pursuit of prey. Like that we can cast everything else aside. We don't have to worry about our obligations, our responsibilities. This is just about getting that stag or whatever it is we're hunting.
So like a focus. Yeah. So the idea is like you're telling him to focus on something, which would, I guess, what trait would
focus
be
on
your ability to focus?
To let time pass, just let it, and then when you come back, you'll be freshened up to face the reality of what's going on.
Hear me out. I keep coming back to temperate versus indulgent. Because there's an element of grief.
Yes.
There's an element of grief that is the self-reinforcement of like indulging how shitty it feels, Like
I love that.
Allowing that misery to like draw you in rather than having or cultivating like stepping outside of it.
Yes.
And maybe that sounds like kind of what Erwin's trying to do.
Yeah. That sounds so good. Yeah. I flagged immediately was selfish, but like I knew that was wrong, but that was the vibe I was thinking of when I went to that. Yeah, indulgent is that's such a good that's the perfect take. I love that. Okay.
Which of us is rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling.
I think it's going to be almost like a versus test where you're rolling your indulgence versus what Jim's action,
Oh,
and whether or not you can beat it,
Okay, well, it might be easy. My indulgence is not high.
Yeah.
It's a failure.
It's a fail.
All right, so I'm rolling what
we think your focus is.
Temperate.
Temperate is that because temperate in this instance, right, is tempering the passions. It's like tempering your
Here, an alternative. Worldly.
You could go down this abyss. You could. It's yawning right under your feet.
Yeah.
But you can also choose to take a step back before you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. I would say either temperate, but I kind of am coming around to the idea of it being a worldly check, because the idea is like, get out of your head, enjoy this great outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does hold together too.
Either one, they're both fairly.
It's your move.
Oh, it's Jim rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
This is Jim's ability to snap you out of it first, and we had to figure out how recalcitrant you were with your defense.
Yeah. A crit.
He crits worldly. Brother. Okay. All right.
The weather is perfect.
You've done something here. This is going to be the first Winterborn Gunnet who's into hunting.
Yes, 100%.
This is my thing now.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's why I love. I love that we could workshop that. That's so sick. You love hunting.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. Is it a passion? Is this a passion? A love of hunting? Because it's
a directed trait.
Yeah,
grief
yeah.
Hunting. so long as I'm grieving, I'm better at hunting.
Yeah. I like the directed trait. Actually makes a lot of sense there. But yeah, yeah, and I also think that I'll let you, because of this crit. Jim, you should definitely get like 20 glory for that. Let's say 22 glory, basically double the worldly check. But Colin, I think I want to offer you the chance to either take like you can either check hunting or check horsemanship or check even check worldly. One of the three. Let's say two of the three as a benefit.
I'm okay. I'm gonna check worldly and check hunting.
Okay. All right. So the horses don't do much for you. Or just remind you of what you lack, I guess. But in the meantime, wow.
Yeah, these are the two things that have dug in. Worldly is lower than spiritual, and I like the idea of this kind of pulling me away from. Garrett is actually, I think, the least spiritual of the family so far. All the rest have had a relatively quiet, but strong spiritual side. But Garrett has never gone above 12 for his spiritual.
Yeah.
And so this is an interesting turn for him to take.
Right. You've always Garrett's the kid that always went to church with his parents and stuff like that, but never felt the calling. You know, it was the performative action, the ritualistic part of it, rather than the what you actually feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Despite dispatching a demon dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Who else came along with you on this hunt? I imagine did some of the Cornish lads come with you? Did other like Castellans of Salisbury?
I think my trio of disaster gaze.
Came
with.
Also, a requirement of being here, whoever the answer is, Bishop Conehelm is definitely here.
Oh, son of a bitch.
He was so I feel like your whole extended family, Erwin, is here. Like hunting? I heard hunting, and they just show up out of the woodwork. Listen, poor Conehelm. Imagine being the Bishop of Sarum and having to like arrange, at last second. Listen, my brother's getting ready to go on a big old hunting thing for a friend. I need to be there. Okay, that's just great. This is just like superfluous. I'm just kind of wondering how big this event is.
I think. Yvain and Yvette have been by my side this entire time. So, Yvain certainly did. Yvette probably not. She probably packed the lunches. I think Gwennaby, Leifwin, and Sears.
Mm.
No, wait, I got them wrong. It's Veneranda. Veneranda, Sayers, and Leifwin are the three. Fuckers. Windy.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, the Veneranda and Sayers, the romantic but cruel soldier who has an Irish fetish, and Sayers, the
the wife guy girl. Yeah.
Irish wife girl who's big into flirting.
Oh yeah, just the temptation. Yeah, I see that. Love that. Veneranda.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, we furthermore, because I guess the feast would probably meant more people were kind of moving, or sorry, this funeral meant more people were moving around and things. News would definitely come from Camelot. Lancelot has left because and everyone's saying is because he literally couldn't handle the bickering of women in court.
This fucking guy.
Dude, he's been, yeah. Lancelot's story so far has been very much like obviously him and Guinevere were like best friends. They were in the order, and then he's finally been kind of out and about. Various queen's handmaids on his arm through court. Like just having a polite, everything very above board, right? But it's like very polite,
Yeah, like
but
very chivalrous midlife crisis.
Yeah, and apparently all of the because he can't pick a favorite between everyone at court and kind of balances everyone's kind of turning on each other, waiting for him to reveal, and he's obviously too chivalrous for this, and now he's deciding to abstain entirely, is what you've been told.
Very Warren Zevon, poor pitiful me.
Yeah. That's our Lancelot.
Tough times for the golden boy.
Okay. I have one final question for our dear friend Erwin before we kickstart spring here.
Yeah.
You have the I'm going to offer this option as part, like as sort of like a retroactive thing for the feast. I keep saying feast, for the funeral. Do you have the option here to be generous and basically offer your wine cellar? Because you know how like you've been really in love with your wines?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd be willing to...
I think it's definitely calls for a roll, because I was 14 selfish.
You love... Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
But, all these people come over because you're getting ready for doing like your hunting, and you can imagine kind of like after the hunt, right? Like the whole...
Sure.
You give them the tour of the lodge, and then you bring them down to the cellar, and they're like, "Hey, man, like, can we tap this Burgundian red? Like it looks pretty good."
Yeah.
That kind of thing, and all of a sudden, it's the question of whether or not, we're gonna be, yeah.
If this feels like something about this feels like a hospitality role, but there's nothing that opposes that, right?
Yeah, no,
I don't.
That's true. Like, it is your hospitality, but I'm thinking this is like extra, right? Like you're being, you're not
the good stuff.
You're not being parsimonious with your wine. Like you're being chill. Like everyone's. But this is the idea here though is like there's probably extra. There's like the reserve selection. That you've been kind of really saving, and the question is whether or not you. Okay, well that's.
It's uncharacteristic in a distinctly uncharacteristic move. Erwin's like he's vibing, right? Like Garrett's turned around.
Oh man,
it seems like the plan worked. Yeah, let's bust out the good stuff.
Wow.
Sorry, I feel like I messed up the screen on the overlay, but yeah, that's another crit.
Jeez. All right.
Goodness.
Yeah, this is great. This is like stories that
Give yourself 12 more glory, brother, for critting the generous, and yeah, just double whatever the roll of the crit. So you are famously okay. I was not really expecting that, so I feel like as a consequence to this is we're gonna need a temperance versus indulgent from everybody as the libations.
Mm-hmm. I keep my chill.
Yeah.
See how this goes. Temperate.
Past indulgent.
Yeah.
Nice. Good host.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Good times. It was a hunt to be hunt to be at.
Yeah. Well, this one wasn't even. This wasn't even the Camelot one. This was like your trial run for Camelot. You know.
Yeah.
So if any, this is the prelude.
So once he gets real shit faced, he's gonna come to Garrett and be like, "Listen, I got a place we really need to go."
The big arm over the shoulder, buddy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mayhem and Havoc will be old enough to take out on the hunt.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, are you willing, Garrett, with your faculties still in place? Are you willing to accept this, or are you going to politely say like, yeah, we'll see how the schedule is? You know what I mean?
Well,
how do you take the offer?
I've been ever since that hunt. I've had like the Dick's Sporting Goods catalog open. This is my new thing now, and I'm looking at the latest stirrups. Yeah, no, I think Garrett would be into that.
Yeah, for a big hunt in Camelot Woods, in the King's Woods.
He hasn't been there in years.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a waste.
Okay, cool.
Very good.
Are we going to do are we going to do that hunt later this spring? Like, do you think we're going to try to rush this thing before Easter? Like, I feel like the timeline is entirely dependent here on Erwin to do when you want to do this hunt. And Erwin's because your desire is sort of like the timer, and you can kind of do it anytime this year.
Eager to get to it. After Easter he's wanting to head back north anyway. Like, he wasn't planning on sticking around Sarum much.
Yeah.
So it's like swing by Camelot and then head north. So I'd like to get the hunt done before the feast. And that way Erwin could also be like, "Oh, I was just hunting in your woods," kind of self-satisfied.
Yeah, sure.
There's that lurking in the back of his thoughts, I'm sure.
Yep, I that makes a lot of sense. Sick. Willing to go with that. Is there a table? I have to look at real quick. Is there a table in the Pendragon rules for what is available in the King's Woods? Because isn't there some magical stuff in there?
It's possible. I don't.
You're not hunting like his menagerie, but like.
Right. Yeah. But still. And then around Salisbury, like, all it says is Camelot. This is the sole description in the main rule book. Just this is a dense forest that forms the southern border of Salisbury County. It is inhabited by both normal and fabulous beasts.
Right. Okay. So that I know. I saw the like there was magical beasts associated. I just never saw a table for it. So I think we're gonna have to let's just roll to see whether it is or not. I think the most common thing to hunt that would be prestigious. Well, obviously you have like your stags, but I think a bear would also be pretty important. Like lowest prestige simple would be boar. Like things that would be basically like, this is really, with the king, you got the king's dispensation almost for a stag, right? You would definitely get into the king's dispensation for a bear. You would then need, and I think you probably need dispensation for a magical creature as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're going this time of year. Stags, they're just now regrowing their antlers. We're going to go after other things. We're going to go after the big ticket.
Okay.
Game.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, bears, other stuff. Mostly it's just like Erwin's like, I've heard stories about it my whole life. Who's even been here?
Hell yeah. Okay. Well,
maybe we'll even find the questing beast.
That might be
Pelinor's old prey.
Yeah. Possibly. Trying to see beasts and beings, what we got here.
Because I know I've seen tables like that. I want to say that the starter adventure has something. It's for like just regular forests.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I should have done this earlier, and I just don't know. I didn't think of it. And Colin, do you have any idea if that exists? Or
what exists?
Like a fantasy hunting table, like what's available? Like a random encounter table for hunting for the King's Woods? Yeah.
Nothing off the top of my head, but
It's all good.
Able to grab something real quick.
Okay, page 104 has something in the rulebook.
Oh, here we go. Special hunting prey.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we're hunting. Okay, so I think what you need to do is you need to pass a hunting check to see whether or not you can even find a special creature to hunt. Right? And then otherwise, I'm allowed, like, I would be willing to do the deer, fallow, wolf, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, normally when hunting, I would say that you have to roll the 20 to get the special creature, right? But because this is the King's Woods, I'm willing to say if you pass a normal hunting check, that would make it eligible.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see how this goes. Fumble.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Oh no,
that's the best
vibes.
Outcome.
The vibes. Okay. Well, I think failing to hunt for a special creature definitely means that's off the menu today.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, I feel like we are going to be lost in the King's Woods.
That's
as a result of this.
Happens.
Can you give me a D20 for what happens when you're wandering through the King's Woods? Oh man, so the huge group of you.
6, yeah.
Did you prompt? Okay. How big of a check did your tush, enable here? Were you saying like, hey, listen, we could even find the questing beast, and so that's what we've been.
I mean, he's going to mention it. There's certainly,
okay,
but I don't know. This like we are going out for the questing beasts. We're like, it could be here. Who knows?
Ah, okay. Well, what we're gonna find instead with that result is a shrine. So let's figure out what kind of shrine that is. I'm gonna roll anything higher I'm gonna roll real quick. Anything higher than a 16, it is pagan. Nope. Okay, so it's definitely Christian in nature. So it's going to be some kind of saint, but the idea here is you will make a spiritual test if you're so inclined. The success granting you a +2 to your next roll for hunting.
Particularly spiritual.
Yeah, what say you?
But I mean, if I'm just looking at my stat, my worldly edges out my spiritual by a couple of points. This is an old shrine. It's like overgrown and like just deep in the woods, or is it still used?
I'm gonna say 50-50. I is still used. Okay. Nope. This is decrepit.
Okay.
This must go back to some maybe like the anarchy or like something way back.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's not gonna. If we get lost, maybe we can come back here and regroup or something. But
right,
no one's come here for years.
Okay. Cool. So just instead,
but he's not. It's an overgrown building, or he's not gonna pay that much attention to it.
Okay. Okay, I think we're probably at the point of the hunt though, where like, okay, we've been completely striking out, and the one thing we find here, being lost in the woods, I imagine has taken a lot of time, right? And so the question here is like, there's the vibe is kind of turning and being like, oh, maybe we should just turn in, this was a bust, but it's fine. Or are you going to be the type of host that would be like, no, we insist we have to find something and like double down at this point and rally people to double down to keep hunting?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, it's just like
look at
these woods.
Right. So the question of you wanting to double down, you do not have to roll the test, I think, to test yourself whether or not this is the action, the path you want to make. But I do think you need to convince other people to be like, no, guys, trust me. Like this is, how does Erwin get the group to rally?
I think it's a
energetic.
Possibly, or valorous. It's like, where's your courage? Where's your perseverance?
Come on, we're
like, we know where we are. We're in Camelot Forest.
You've been okay. So imagine the day where you got up around dawn, around let's say around 7 or so, right? Like the sun's been pretty good. So and you've been gone, and now it's like 3:00, and all of you had is water and wine, the whole day. And you haven't found freaking anything except for this old ash shrine, and now that the headache's kind of setting in a little bit, and you're like, and this is the part where you're like, no, where's your honor? We got to do this. Come on, lads.
Yeah, this is a good place. This is as good a place as any to make camp for the night. Like we're gonna obviously be here, a while, and I feel like if we're going hunting, we
brought snacks.
We're prepared to be outside for a while,
Yeah, absolutely. But you're definitely prepared, or at least ready to set camp and stuff like that as well. But
as a concession, as okay, this is good places in.
Cool. Just go ahead and give me an energetic, or sorry, valor. You said valor. We're testing them to. Their fortitude. Okay.
So it's pass.
All right. So we carry on. Give me a good old hunting check.
Both of us.
No. This would be Jim's first. Is to get can we find something worth hunting?
Got it.
And then we're going to see who does it better. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. As luck would have it. Jim, you are a luck king today.
Saying it. This is
that is wild.
I'll take it. That's wild. Another crit.
I think you might have pulled this out. Can you roll me a d20? And I would say anything above a 10 could be a special creature. To see if we got the trail of it. Okay. All right, so it would be a normal prey here.
Yeah.
I will roll for you what it is. Okay, it's a deer. But it's a tough deer to catch. But we have caught scent. We caught the scent of a fallow deer. For our quarry.
Yeah.
Now's the time for your hunting, Colin, as well as Jim's. This is the individual who finds this thing and gets it.
Nah.
All right. No. Look.
Good dream.
A pass, but not a particularly high roll if it's opposed by something.
We never really did it opposed before. I think technically the animals have an avoidance that I'm supposed to be rolling. And basically if the avoidance beats your hunt, it just means that you weren't good enough for the day. Do you want me to invoke that now, or are we cool saying you got it? Because at this point it's kind of immaterial. As far as
I'm either way.
I'm kind of interested in whether or not with your crit, actually, I think I'm kind of in favor of saying it won't avoid you, simply that you were as a result of the crit, right? That you've got the trail and it's good enough. and you're bringing it back in, and you were able to save the vibes of the hunt.
Yeah.
Okay. But it definitely was not as maybe as fun as it was cracked up to be.
Not as smooth or as fun. No fantastic beasts.
No. Oh, that's a bummer. But still good.
But you could tell they were out there.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That slight tinge of the waning magic.
We don't see anyone else. There's no like woods keepers or someone else out here, right?
No. There definitely are like weird hermits and stuff and things that live in these woods, but the woods are great and kind of magical, with some lingering effects there. But no, I think the people you saw most of all were the folks when you were entering the woods, saying hello from Camelot and that kind of stuff. Like, oh yeah, we'll let you in. Because it was clear that you didn't ask permission from.
Right. Yep.
From Arthur,
he's not asking permission. He's going to ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah. Yep. And we'll see how that goes.
If even that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time for Feaster. After the old hunt, so let me get us over to East Map, and I think I have to clean it up.
Bring the deer with us.
Yeah, dude. It's like, yeah, I brought the beer from your fridge to the party.
Yes, yeah. Everyone's trying to see where Arthur at this point is an old man. Yeah. Like even rejuvenated, he's still getting up there.
Totally. Let me shuffle the beast cards. But okay. Yeah, let's do our appearances and fashions and the like.
Yeah.
We got loach in cold green sauce, roasted crane, and imported baked fruits. Zoom tight.
Fashion.
Oof. You're wearing last year's fashions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year's fashions we got though. Yeah. Still past appearance.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and we had a thought about how to like do fashion in games. And one thought was kind of like a rock paper scissors thing for like the event, and the event would be like either the haute couture, traditional, or like old school, right? So like you would have, or like last year's fashion, right? So the idea here would be like, how do you dress, or like more, or like common fare, right? So the idea would then be like, whatever you show up to somewhere, it would be like kind of a slight guessing game of, who you're trying to impress, and you have to pick one of those as your fashion choice, and that will give you benefits to certain people, right? So like if you were talking to the cool hip people, then obviously wearing haute couture gives you the bonus for that, right? And it can like, or like save you from a we were thinking more like as armor, where it could save you from a social faux pas. Like a shield shall be shattered kind of thing.
Especially in the context of like creating a framework for like social gatherings, like parties, or where that plays like a bigger. I don't know if you could hack something with that, like good society with it.
that might be a little too much, but for sure. But we were still thinking like even like in the context of like Pendragon or like any kind of D&D court where the style that you're wearing could could save you from let you like re-roll or give you a bonus for having the right thing for the right context.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, looks like we are going to be both near the salt.
We're at 562.
No, 561. We were trying to, we didn't get to 561 last session, so we're still 561.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I will there will be events this feast, but starting off, just so you know, there is sort of a I don't want to call it a game show because that's not right, but there's definitely a kind of search for the new noble queen, like the best kind of court, Queen's Guard kind of, looking for the next kind of Queen's Guard types as a vibe here. You're not sure if this is a direct result of Lancelot leaving this time, or this was something planned, but there's definitely that kind of air. So be on y'all's best behaviors. Oh.
Yeah. All right. So Lancelot's gone. Any other notable guests? Or is it just the usual Camelot court crowd?
No, nothing unusual this year. Definitely no one's really missing from court except for Lancelot, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So in some ways that's kind of rare. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just double checked it. I lied. The Orkneys are not here.
Orkneys are not here. All right.
The wicked ones, as we know.
Mm.
What could they be doing while they're away?
They were in Cornwall, right? Doing something there.
No. There is a plot. There's suspicion that they are trying to figure out what Dinadane's doing this year, so they can jump him. It's basically the thought. So if we catch wind of what tournament Dinadane's going to go to or anything like that this year, you might want to protect him, that kind of stuff, right? Or that, but like Dinadane was Tristram's squire, so like you all kind of knew him, right? He was there in the pictures, but like maybe he never said much in the group chats,
Right. Yeah.
But you always got the impression that he's a solo lad. He kind of Tristram was obviously in love with Iseult, but Dinadan never really fell in love with anybody. Tristram kind of made fun of him for it. But
he just found true love.
Yeah. More importantly, it was like he never wanted it. Like it's not that he never had that like yawning for it. He's like almost like Volcel, like he was just like, I don't need it. I don't really understand it. I don't even want, I don't really want lands that much. I just want to be able to, ride my horses and serve you and the king and stuff. Like he's just very much like a weirdo in a way. It's very odd which is why he wasn't very popular.
No.
You can imagine having that kind of look in Camelot, where it's all about marriages and courtly stuff, and he just kind of defies it. He's a bit of punk in that way.
Yeah. All right. So I got some cards.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever played. When I think I'm going to play, but I got a Christian sin. A renowned holy person speaks of the sins surrounding feasting, spiritual versus worldly. And then another one,
dude.
Lady asks if you believe in Harry's spiritual versus worldly. But
oh my god,
chance encounter.
Oh my god. The priest. Obviously it's Conehelm. And Conehelm is still like hungover from your wine. You know what I mean? Like he's talking about the barrels of wine from your feast, from your own. I'm thinking that's related. Oh, damn, I thought Jim was into it, but I think Jim is actually instead just frozen.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
I know. Love to see. Every time.
Every time.
There you are.
Oh, there it is.
There I am.
I don't know what you...
Discord is not going to be with me because the rest of my internet's fine.
Yeah, that's all. It's all good. It's all good. I was just joking that I know you don't have to pick the card, but I think it still transpires, and it would be Bishop Conehelm definitely talking about the perils of hangovers from wine.
Uncle starts going in on something, and this young lass catches Erwin's eye. He goes off.
Yeah, yeah. You ignore the bully pulpit, and love it.
Chase wins.
Ooh.
Lustful wins more.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lustful beats Chase.
About things real.
Okay, so Erwin bugs out.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Wait, did you do... Hold on. You didn't do... Wait, I'm looking at Christian Sin, and I'm looking at About Things Real. Am I looking at the wrong card?
Yeah.
I'm literally... Right. Oh my god.
Yeah, Erwin, a beautiful lady passes by whispers in her ear.
What great impetus to leave the fucking party where the priest has just started railing against the party and just be like, all right, I'm going to leave then with this lady doing very chaste things in that closet for an hour.
Yeah. She needs help with her bodice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She lost an amulet and it went down her shirt. I had to help her. Yeah.
It's a knife duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So he bugs out while his uncle rails about the good shit. And
yeah.
Nice. Okay. I gotta go with first aid on this one, and you'll never guess why. Right? Like, his wife just died. He sees someone choking. He's emotionally invested in this / having a trauma response.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Calls them by your wife's name.
Yeah. Thank God I succeeded, because that would have been real bad if not.
Oh man. Depart the feast in shame and a fumble. Yeah. Success. Great. Oh yeah. Okay, so someone ends up choking during Conehelm's speech, and you give them the Heimlich.
Yep.
Beautiful. So 5 glory and 2 geniality.
Yeah.
And that probably interrupts. That deflates Conehelm's speech, decrying too much drink. Cool. Can everybody do me a favor and test etiquette for me?
Ooh.
This is part of the Queen's deals.
And his etiquette is not a skill.
Is it not a skill?
Heraldry?
Courtesy usually covers...
Oh, courtesy. I'm sorry. I said I'm thinking of a different game. I'm so sorry. Oh, man.
Okay.
Brain fart. Yeah, courtesy, please.
Nice. Pass.
Yes. Beautiful. You all are holding your knife and spoons correctly.
Oh, yes.
Which is...
Good. Gotta hold those knife and spoons correctly.
Yeah. Which is the style of the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No forks yet.
The only other announcement for this feast before you all can do the rest of the cards is that the queen is going to hold this summer a big old festival looking for new knightly champions, and that this is sort of like a trial run, and then you could be invited. You know what I mean? So so the end result here is like, hey, you might get a carriage with a letter from a handmaid dressed in a fairy costume that invites you to be like, you've been cordially invited to the queen's, tea party kind of thing,
Okay.
So at this point, passing the courtesy and seeing how it's going, like, oh yeah, no, this is the tryouts.
Okay.
Who's a bore?
Now, yeah, the scheme has been oh my god. Well, straight out, Dinadane's straight out. He's not interested in this stuff. He doesn't really care about. Dinadane does not really fit in a lot with the cutesiness of being of the knightly, courtly thing and the thing with the ladies. He's like, whatever, dude.
It's above it.
Yeah. I mean, he knows how to hold a fork and stuff, but like, yeah, he's just like not, like the whole like holding the lady and like doing like the dancing thing around the tables and stuff. He's like, dude, I just want to eat my wings, man. I just want to eat my roast heron, or a crane. Come on, you don't have to sing happy birthday to me. You can, you know what I mean? You can go over. Let me just eat.
Yeah, it's fine. I know you guys hate it.
Yeah. So. But I'm just calling them out. But yeah, it's very pretty chill. I think, let's see, Palamedes is super into it. In fact, Palamedes might be, he's the Muslim knight that was brought on recently. He is super into it. He's doing his dang best. It's a fun game for him. It's like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do this. Yeah. Sir Constantine's also a winner. And I would also point out the first. No, they won't be the first. Never mind, they'll be the last. So never mind. So I'll touch on that later. But yeah, there's plenty of folks from Salisbury, pretty much across the country here, interested. I would say less, obviously, like there's not a lot of Orkney representation. There's a lot of comments that be around, like, of course, I mean, they're the Orkneys, they're barbaric anyways, haha, but oh
well.
A lot of people are like, I don't know, don't want to do this instead of a tournament, this year. There's a lot of that kind of going on. There's a little bit of a practicalness. For a lot of people, they think that, the lists might be easier at the tournaments later this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the July tournaments. Yeah, like the fancy yeah. Yeah, the big tournament this year is the Tournament of Companions, and it's actually supposed to be it's going to be held in Lincoln, and it's supposed to kind of like nudge the Orkney and Deegany clans together, and it's kind of doing like a Spartans versus or sorry, more like a Thermopylae style, like us against the Saxons, kind of like final stand, reminding people to be together. But like the Saxons are like literally like a Zack Snyder Saxons, of like Wagnerian, bat-winged, like they're just doing like just horrendous, whatever, like hyper WWE wrestling level, you know what I mean? They're going all out. They're getting crazy paper mache scorpions, man. Just wild stuff. So, but yeah, so there's basically it's a tournament of friendship. Is like kind of the idea here, right? And camaraderie again. Allusions to Baden Hill will be plentiful. The few against many.
Past glories.
Yeah.
I'm out of this. I'm out of this feast. See y'all later.
Yeah.
Oh right. I'm sorry. I was waiting for Jim. I forgot it's.
Oh yeah. No, he's
okay.
20 glory feast.
Yeah. No, that pendant is really down that bodice. That's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an easy choice for me. May we dance? Right. Just more stuff reminding him of his dead wife is the point here.
Oof.
Yeah. Let's see what his dancing is. Dancing is not great, even with the geniality bonus. Oof, fail. So no other effect. Just watching this man listlessly, like, going through a dance with this beautiful woman has got to be a depressing sight.
Oh.
All that work on the hunt just undone by a single dance.
I know. I think the thought is that I would rather be hunting. Is like
Yeah. This is what happens when you're not hunting. People start choking to death. Like pretty ladies want to dance with you when you could just be on a horse, not finding prey because that doesn't seem to be the most important part of the hunt. Certainly. Yeah.
No, it's fun. You being on your horse with your dogs and the boys and having a good old time.
Yeah, the falcons and everything. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the falcons.
And I'll do my third one as well. All you can eat, pagan pleasures, host calls, and then the fucking host calls a toast.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Well, that's great. This would be probably like the one for all the marbles for whether or not you get invited to the.
Yeah, courtesy, and I got survival on this now. That is a pass. That is a definitely not winning pass.
All right, but you still passed
partial success. I got a geniality for that.
Yep. And Jim is not eligible for. Okay.
I think it's hilarious that this is so mechanically successful a feast for me, the player, and undoubtedly Garrett is just fucking miserable.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Congrats, we're so happy for it, and you just have this stone demeanor. Yeah, it sucks so much. Oh, well, do you think you're going to be going to the Queen Guinevere's feast this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because you're definitely, by passing those things, you're eligible. I'm sorry, Jim, you're not eligible because you did not participate in the last round here. But that being said,
if I wanted to get invited, I could get one.
Both of you, so that but talking a little bit more about the epistolary that you all are getting. In addition, so like after the feast is wrapped up and that kind of stuff, right? When you all have gone back and the results have been tallied, the votes have been announced, and you get your letter of invitation. You've also, each of you will be also receiving disturbing letters, coincidentally, talking about Ireland and your holdings over there and your folks around in Ireland.
Yeah,
they are unrest is brewing across the Irish Sea. They are complaining too much of taxes. They are complaining that not enough is being done to stop Brian and the Sea Raiders. And then lastly, they're talking about too much favoritism to the British in legal matters. I'm sure this will not be a problem in the future.
No, how could it be?
So it's not like people, like, we're not in rebellion. I want to be clear. I'm saying, when I say unrest, I mean there's like, this is a very sternly worded letter by by a lot of people saying, hey, like, we demand a little bit, there's favoritism that, you all show each other versus the natives, there's a little, we're getting taxed too much and you're protecting us from the raiders. Right. And these are the folks from King Mark's rebellion from a while back, right? The sea folks that have been, you tried to shut them out on, if you remember in, if it would help if I remember the name of the town when they invaded, in Wales on the coast.
Yeah.
But, so yeah. So that's kind of like the big deal right now. Not a problem yet this year, but if this goes unaddressed for too long, it will be a problem.
Okay. Do our contacts there have any additional insight, like knowledge of back channels, for example, that might be useful? Maybe heading this off the pass, or at least softening the landing.
There's no, I mean, you have people you can talk to, but like in terms of demands, it's, I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little bit confused when you say like back channel, like you want to do something that's informally talking to these people.
Yeah,
right.
Like, you have a bunch of people who made these demands. Who's talking less? Who's in? If we're in the room, where are the rest of them looking? Who do they look to? Okay,
so there's a hale young lad from around your neck of the woods, around Meath. Drastagnos is the lad. However, it's not necessarily a mono pillar. It's just sort of like a collaboration of various families and clans. It sort of has cross-class appeal about like, listen, we all kind of agree that we're getting not a fair deal. So like we could say there's like a couple other pillars as well if you wanted to, break them apart and have them fight each other in that kind of way. Believe me, there's plenty of blood feuds that you can,
right.
Interact here, and you could, that's typically the way you do it in the past, rather than listening to them. But right now, it's the problem is that like, oh shit, they're uniting and they're making demands again. What do we do?
Yeah. Okay. Stagnos. That's a start. See what you do. What you do is you acquiesce to the demands, but only to one of the pillars. Say we will say yes, but only to one of you.
Which makes the other two attack that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love that. All right. Okay. I will flesh that out a little bit more. I don't know what the pillars should be, but obviously you got the some form of upper class, some form of middle, parallel power structure going on in like the old family clans, and of course Jim is frozen again.
Yeah.
But I would be curious to know how Jim wants to handle that. Jim, welcome back. Okay, so we were just kind of circling around the Irish rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to team up and handle this, or do you want to outsource, or do you want to acquiesce to their demands? What do you do when you get this letter?
I don't think acquiescing to their demands is the way to go. The Sea Raiders are a problem for us too, and the peasants always complain about taxes. So, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but the danger is that
the Sea Raiders would be.
Yeah, the danger is how united they are, right? Yeah, like these complaints are things you've heard all the time, but the idea is that now that like some clans that normally hate each other are talking again, and that's when you're like, I need to nip this.
See.
So,
Erwin's probably like, doesn't my cousin handle this?
Right. Well, yeah, and
Why am I getting this letter?
No, these letters are from your representatives over in Ireland, being like, listen, this is getting too,
These are from
basically their initial appeasement stuff like they're basically saying like our initial stuff like that is getting hit with more resistance, right? Should we crack the whip? Should we pretend to entertain them while we, break up their alliances? That that kind of stuff. Like they want to know how we should proceed here.
I think like a gathering of all the principal landholders, absentee as we are, so that we can have a united response as well is the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like if.
Okay, so you want to moot? You want to go talk to the the king?
We get this letter while we're still in Camelot, or is this like after we've kind of dispersed?
Oh, this is after. This is you've dispersed and you've been but it's a little bit too early for tourney season, but it's it's a good time for letters to arrive for people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess everyone will spend some time going around to the various, other landlords and be like, all right, we got to get together. We can't have an individual response because this letter isn't.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's what everyone will do.
Now, there is, I believe there is a king of Ireland right now, like the High King. But this is the problem is that this stuff is not directly addressing him. So, but that is sort of the petition you could go to, right? There is another higher authority you could go talk to, right? But you're currently you're dealing with the lowest rungs bumping up to your level before you in the corporate level of things.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I only bring that up because if you wanted to, you could have this meeting in Ireland, like with the king, just to make sure everything's hunky dory. Or you can kind of do it as a group of the absentee landlords around over here. You do it that way.
We can decide if we want to go to the High King or if we want to just like take care of this ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like kings will expect you to handle your own shit on your lands. That's kind of like the point.
Yeah,
and like why would they spend money and yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
Cool. That will take I'm wondering whether or not if some people who own lands, this will run into tournament season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to asking some people to like skip a tournament, and the question is whether or not like their lands are worth that, and if they freaking love tournaments. So I'm gonna roll 50-50 and see whether or not some people just love their tournaments, and then whether or not you're gonna really have to convince them to do this, or they're just kind of out of it. No, we're good. Their lands in Ireland are worth it. It makes sense. I feel like everyone's holdings here in Ireland is kind of what's been kind of propping everyone up. So like, this is dangerous. Yeah.
Like, as any good colonial institution, like we are just riding off of the blood squeezed from the foreign stone.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. And I think everyone knows that their tourney bills are paid with that blood. So like so as soon as they will miss a tournament if it means future tournaments. Yeah.
And we could probably go to the Irish with that and be like, look, guys, I don't think you understand how much it's hurting us. We're not able to do these tournaments.
Yeah.
Well, we can still do the tournaments, but we don't get like the right pheasant. Like we still get pheasant, but like we can't import it from the continent.
Yeah.
Well, we can, but it's not as fresh. And
we're really sacrificing
ostrich feathers. And,
it's important. It's important for us all to tighten your belt.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. Nice. Okay.
Surely they'll see reason.
Oh yeah. Okay. But there will be one more. We got to do the other part though first. We're gonna have this meeting after the Tournament of Friendship.
Mm-hmm.
as well as after the queen's dinner, right? And I mean, to be clear, the dinner is part of the feast, right? Like it's like a side event,
Yeah.
like a parallel. Because if you're going to be around, you might as well do it all together.
Might as well.
And
I imagine this is where we catch up to the last of the landholders. Be like,
right, like, hey, after this, we're having a meeting. Yeah.
I noticed you didn't RSVP to the e-bike, so I just wanted to check in.
Yeah. Track you down.
Yes, very much. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is our tournament rolls. This is just for like the regular prizes for the tournaments. There's a lot of quarreling between everybody.
The friends tournament?
Yeah. It's pretty annoying.
Look at these. Look at all these peacocks.
You can kind of think of it like as an all-star game of like the NBA or something where people aren't giving it their all, and it's just kind of you can tell, which makes the performance go down.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Use a sports ball analogy.
Yep,
Yes, it does. Sorry, are we rolling tourney or?
Yeah, roll tourney.
Okay,
Yeah. Roll tourney is just to see
yeah.
if you're getting anything here.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, poor Jim, you're not gonna get a lot here. Colin, go ahead and give yourself 50 glory for the tournament. Jim, give yourself 25 for participating. There's no like murder attempt on Dinadane or anything here. While we're going, but you can definitely see that is pretty palpable.
Okay.
So to be clear, I don't think I explained this tournament well enough. The Deegany and the Orkney clans were supposed to be like everyone, and you all were playing Saxons.
Okay, because it's supposed to get them to stop feuding. And,
exactly.
Bring in
so the idea here was they were getting everyone there to be sort of like the Spartans, and you all were Darius's. You know what I mean? Like that's the idea is that then because then you all get to go beat up on them is like the idea for fun, right? So they better start working together. Like, it was a good idea in spirit, but then you can see that like no one really cares, and they didn't really work that well together. And neither of you win the silver enameled suit of full plate.
Damn.
Yeah.
Syllabi. Can I roll to see if Leifwin does? Because he's my ringer. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please.
He doesn't have a listed tourney skill. He's got lance and horsemanship at 18.
What's his sword?
Unlisted, so we could presume at least
16,
15
at least, or
16.
Yeah. So say 20 skill of 17, then an average of both of them.
Okay.
Walking it in.
Passes. Yeah, walking it in. Jesus. Come on, Leifwin.
I know, right? Okay.
His loyalty liege is 20 though. He is a I'm on it, boss kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's so good to have a Myrmidon. Love that for you. Okay. Let's do. So the night will devolve into feasting and the like. But the 25 odd selected folks for the Queen's feast. This would be the night. Right. So, both the Orkneys and the Deeganese, like basically their whole families are here. There's not that many Deeganese left. There's about 5. There used to be like 8. And yeah, it does not go well. This dinner.
No.
What?
No. Literally, within an hour, after everyone had the sort of like hors d'oeuvres and champagne, and you sit down, the first course of fresh fruit is given. And in fact, a good-natured knight from Ireland, one of the king's men, Sir Patrice, actually falls horribly ill, choking.
Oh.
Can we?
Damn.
Let's say, Colin, as a mirror to earlier this feast, can you give me a first aid roll, my brother?
Jesus. And this time I don't have a geniality bonus or anything, so it is literally a coin flip. Woo, we're good.
Okay,
We're good. We're good.
you're okay. He is not choking on the food. You're doing your best for him. He is poisoned for sure.
Oh shit!
Your first aid. You know what I mean? Like you give him the I licked him, and he's still. You know what I mean? It's still happening. And then there's a gasp. I mean, Patrice is going to start to perish, and no one really knows what to do other than try to help him just make sure he's cool. Because what can you know what I mean?
Yeah. Try and get him to throw up, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can here, but this is horrible.
Yes.
Thank
you, Eric. Thank you.
Accusations of between or the Orkneys and Dinganese start flying. Dinanane steps up to Mordred, and there's a big kerfluffle. Everyone's asking where Lancelot is. King Arthur's kind of in shock. No one goes to blows or anything at this point, because Mordred will accuse the queen herself of poisoning these food.
Jesus.
Yes.
Wow.
It is her feast.
If this were the other Erwin, he'd just kill her, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he'd just kill Mordred, right? They're like, oh, you shit talk the queen, you're dead now. I'd kill you.
Yeah. And basically, the king will dismiss Arthur will dismiss everybody from the dinner. However, like, stick around, and he wants to get everyone's kind of like individual kind of pulse on it, about what to do. But
is Mordred making anything more substantial than you poison him because, like, it's your feast or something?
Yeah, you're responsible.
Okay.
Who would poison? Yeah.
Classic. It stands to reason bullshit. Got it.
Yeah. It's like, surely they would have testers.
Well, the thing is, though, like,
testing it.
So Mordred was the first to say it, but he's not the only guy saying it. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as he says it, it's immediately like a lot of the other guys. There's a couple like Iberian knights. The Irish, the rest of the Irish contingent of the two other guys here are like definitely mad. But like, this is murder, right? The French people,
sure
like, this is or at least attempted murder. As our poor Sir Patrice is hanging on for their dang life here, as the night goes on. The queen. Well, the last thing you hear from the queen from Guinevere herself is begging for to find for people to find Lancelot, which is the hammer that quells any nail, the disposition here. The great knight. But in the meantime, Arthur will not escape justice. He is, Arthur's wife will not escape justice. Arthur is going to look at everyone here and be if there's one thing he stands for, it's justice. And that if there is a trial, there will be a trial. And he's willing to risk his wife.
Jesus, man.
He will choose, and he's choosing the kingdom over his love of his wife in this moment.
Is he? Is he?
Is he, though? I know.
Is he?
So obviously this stuff will this night, all of the rumors and truths of this night will spread across Camelot into the countryside, far and wide. There is not going to be anyone who hasn't heard about this. That the queen poisoned, like in the accusatorial, an Irish knight trying to kill them. And it almost killed, probably killed or at least attempted to kill everyone. No one wants to test the rest of the fruit, Here's
the thing. Reading Arthurian tales and like reading stories in with the decline of Arthur, it is way more frustrating to play through that.
Yeah.
Than when it's like it really gives you an appreciation for like what the fuck are you doing, Arthur?
Yeah.
Just been sitting on his throne.
He refused. So, well, yeah. In a way, Arthur is King Trust the process.
Yeah.
When clearly, like, everything's falling apart, which I don't know if that's like poignant to anyone living anywhere in today's world, day and age. But it's
too close to DC for that observation.
It is expressly we have to trust the process, and like justice, deliver justice. Yeah, this is just. He refuses to do anything extrajudiciously. Everything must be done. Yeah. Which also means that Queen's going to be not in like an obelette, but like, secured in a tower. Sir Bors, for the time being, we're basically going to say like, listen, like as part of the legal case, you have a certain amount of time to find a proper champion. And Sir Bors says, listen, I know you want Lancelot. By the end of the time, if that's not the case, I will fight for you. Unless you want to step in, Colin, or someone else wants to step in. Like that's the.
Yeah.
I doubt you want to go to bat.
Even if Garrett weren't fucking burnt out of grief right now over the death of his wife this year.
Right. But it is a known confederate of Mordred, a Sir Mador, who will be championing the case against the Queen.
Qui bono. Qui fucking bono for all of this,
Yeah. So, yeah. Was this friggin'? This just seems incredibly out of character and out of place for everyone involved. But given the stakes, this wasn't a rumor. Like someone just died at a feast here. Like this would be, you would be just as culpable if someone died in your own house. The poison.
Yep. Unless and until the poisoner were found.
Correct.
And that is
so
probably Garrett's thinking.
Yeah. So we agree. Exactly. So there is a time being to try to find this person, find these things, find Lancelot, right?
Yeah.
That is sort of
Lancelot can go fuck himself. Garrett's gonna try and find the poisoner.
Okay. Well, then I think that's where we'll probably have to call it for today.
Okay.
Because I know Jim has a hard out early, and this is kind of a good spot.
All right.
But yeah, this is the poison and treason plot.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. I think one final point of detail of this night though is when the queen was looking for volunteers who would defend her, at the feast about finding like Camelot's next best, Queen's Guard, nobody did it except for Bors.
Yikes.
Yeah. Then the king Arthur recused himself, of course. Sorry.
Mhm.
He would have been the first one to say, but as judge, he cannot be defendant and judge. Which again is like a huge friggin', like what are we doing here kind of vibe. But yeah.
Damn.
I know. So something to chew on till we play next week or next time.
Wait play again.
So yep.
All right.
Well, there you go. So 561 continues to go on.
We love to see it.